Hello, mysterious person behind the screen. Yeah, we're back once again after a little break of commentaries. Me and Isaac are back to cover Doctor Who the movie, or Doctor Who the TV movie, or The Enemy Within, or whatever title you want to call it. But yeah, as I said, I am once again joined by Isaac.
I always dress for the occasion.
And yeah, so I think with all that out the way, without further ado.
If you'd like to sync this up with your own copy of Doctor Who the TV movie, we're watching the DVD version, by the way. Put the Go to the start of the film and press play in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, well, one sentence in and already I'm confused.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm.
you just bung a load of exposition on the audience, and
Mm.
it just doesn't work. You've got because yeah, because imagine if there were younger viewers at home. Parents told me so much about Doctor Who, and now that it's coming back as a new thing, let's give it a watch. Who's the Master? What's a Dalek? What's a Gallifrey? What's a Skaro?
Well, yeah, it's bizarre that as an introduction to the world of Doctor Who, they thought that immediately plunging the audience into a Dalek trial would be the best option to go for. It's really odd. And I guess,
Yeah,
as much as I enjoy this, I guess this is kind of a cautionary tale of what not to do in terms of reintroducing a show that was out of the public
yeah,
consciousness.
yeah. Compare that to Rose.
Mm,
Yeah, compare it to Rose, to the better way to reintroduce a show. But I do like this music, unironically. I know people despise it, but I like it. It's exciting. It gets you pumped for Doctor Who. Because I know Doctor Who magazine did a fact or fiction of this back in 2011, and already on the first line of dialogue they pointed out all the plot holes. Why are the Daleks giving the Master a trial? Why do they let the Doctor, their mortal enemy, come to their planet and then leave alive?
yeah, there's
Yeah.
this whole thing. There's so much you could pick apart, and especially I think coming from a place of that we are like hardcore Doctor Who fans. There's definitely a lot already, like in this first scene, that's
Yeah.
just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I going back to the music though. I do love the music, and that I do love the music in this whole thing. Really, I think it's fantastic. I love the score for this.
Yeah, me too, yeah. And it is nice seeing Sylvester McCoy again, but
Mm.
I'm kind of sad he's not in his original costume. It's kind of a generic old man costume, which is a bit of a shame, but
Yeah,
ah well.
yeah. I do like the fact that like time has passed though. Like I appreciate the fact that they didn't just try and recreate like the old
Oh
console
yeah,
room and
yeah.
everything. I like that this is very much like the Seventh Doctor at the end of his life, and he has changed. It is nice that he's in this, and I think it is nice that they gave McCoy a send off, and he is in it properly and everything. But again,
Yeah.
it's sort of if you want this to be an introduction to Doctor Who, it's sort of like it's a little odd that that's the direction they
Starting
went
off with a
to.
regeneration, just
Yeah,
yeah, Nick Briggs in the commentary to this jokes about it by saying, if you never watched Doctor Who before, you'd think it's about a doctor who meets strange patients.
legit. It's very
That's honestly
bizarre.
the impression it kind of gives.
Yeah,
But
it's
also,
yeah.
but also, um, I remember watching the 7 Year Hitch documentary, and they didn't want Buster McCoy in it because they associated him with the cancellation and the downfall of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And they said, well, if you're going to get a Tom Baker, trust me, if you got Tom Baker, that would make this thing even more complicated.
Oh
Why has the
god.
Fourth Doctor now regenerated into the Eighth Doctor. That doesn't make sense.
Again, it's part of that thing, isn't it? That they in the 90s they were the BBC were like, well, we can bring it back, but only if you get Tom Baker in it, because he was the one that was successful. You know, then they were always seemed like when they were talking about doing Dark Dimension and everything, it's like, I don't know, it's weird.
He was going to be the main Doctor.
Well, yeah, exactly, and that sort of contributed to why the others didn't want to do it, wasn't it? Because it was sort of like, well, we're being overshadowed by someone who left the role God knows how many years ago, which is, to be honest, is fair enough.
I mean, if we were to talk about all the ideas that were around for the TV movie, it'd take probably 40 minutes. Because I made documentaries on them and you should totally watch them.
Yeah, there's the production of this is fascinating. It's so weird to think about. Like,
the original idea was the Doctor going to search for his father Ulysses, and
Ulysses.
Yeah, the reason they dropped it is because, as Steven Spielberg said, well, the whole father-son really. Yeah, Ulysses. That's his father's name apparently.
So bizarre.
Yeah, Spielberg didn't like it because he said it was too similar to Indiana Jones' father and son relationship, so it was dropped.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, but with, like, I don't know, Tom Baker and Paul McGann or something. Junior.
That would have been cool.
Junior, Dad, I'm.
It's all right, Doctor. I'll get you out of it. That's all right, Doctor. I'll get you out of it. Just calm down. I do like. I really like the idea of a Chinese gang member becoming a companion. I think it's something that's never been done before. Someone who lives on the streets, I think.
Yeah, and I mean this. I agree with you completely. I think he's a great character, and I mean this movie is kind of it's chock full of things that we've never seen before in Doctor Who, and even since this, really, like it's so American. It's said before, but it really is what if Doctor Who was an American show, and we've never really seen that since. Just this because this just looks like an episode of, like, I don't know, Law and Order or something. Like you take one look at this, you wouldn't know that it was Doctor Who. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm really not a fan of how the Seventh Doctor goes out here. This is a Doctor who fought evil itself across time, entertained gods to stay alive, destroyed Skaro, massacred an entire Cyberman fleet, and how does he go? He gets shot in the bloody chest.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't be bothered to check the scanner.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, I think I've said before, part of me likes that it's just the fact that he has done so much and goes out in such an ungraceful way. Part of me does really like that, but also, like, yeah, it is a bit of a shame.
Okay, yeah.
It is a bit of a shame because it's sort of like getting him out the way almost. And then at that point, it's just kind of like, well, why bother bringing him back if you're just gonna get him out the way so quickly? It is odd. But I think McCoy acts the hell out of it, though. I think he's great.
Now, the gun battle we saw there, that very nearly got this a 15 rating.
Yeah, it got cut to pieces quite a bit, didn't it, for the initial airing? Because this was, unfortunately, it was broadcast around the time of the Dunblane massacre. So I think the initial VHS of it and also the airing was censored quite a lot, which is understandable, to be fair.
Well, in Australia, Attack of the Cybermen is rated M for mature sure, which is like their 15 rating over
It
there.
is, yeah. It's so
Yet
weird.
over here, it's a U. What?
It's so bizarre. It is so bizarre.
It doesn't make sense.
I always forget that this is set on New Year's.
It is, yeah.
Because we were gonna
Originally
record
it was
this.
going to be set on. Set on Halloween, and the Master would have had an army of zombies.
Ooh, that would have been cool. I mean, it would have been so silly, but
I'm not making that.
Oh man, it would have been really silly,
Yeah.
but my horror zombie obsessed side of me would have really loved that. I would have really liked to see that.
You'd have had the Doctor toting a shotgun saying, "Sorry, we're closed." Excuse me. Hello. There's a girl outside the TARDIS. What? Outside the TARDIS, there is a girl. Excuse me. Hello. The one thing I don't get is, why is the Master a snot snake?
Snot snake. Wow.
What?
Snot or another thick human liquid, depending on what you want to perceive it as. Yeah, snot. Yes, it's weird. Again, it's one of those things that's like, I don't quite know what they were thinking, but it's a cool image, I'll say that. Like, it is a genuinely kind of spooky image, but I just don't know how we got to this. But like, was the Daleks?
And there's a nice scene. I was just gonna say, there's a nice scene later where, as the Doctor's regenerating, the Master takes over Bruce, the ambulance driver. You know, they're both enemies, and they both get a new body.
Yeah, and I really like that scene. I really like how the snake like goes down his throat and everything. It's a really, and that's sort of, it justifies the whole snake thing, because it is a really cool like horror scene. But it does sort of I just don't know why he is a snake. Like, did the Daleks' punishment? He got put on trial, and the Daleks' punishment wasn't to kill him; it was to turn him into a snake. It sounds more like a Disney film.
I mean, those Daleks that put him on trial, they're part of the Paradigm Daleks. They're purple, and they're called Lawyer. Yeah. Now, just talking about the companions here, we've got Grace and Chang Li. Now, am I right that Big Finish does not have the right to use them?
Yeah, you are. The rights for this, for not just these characters, but the movie in general, I don't know what's up with it, because I feel like the BBC has the right to release it, but a lot of the time they avoid when they want to represent the Eighth Doctor in like calendars and things like that. They just use an image from the Night of the Doctor, so it tells me that they don't have the rights to some of the images from this. And the characters, like Grace and Chang Li, they don't have the rights to tell stories with them, which is such a shame, because I really want to see more of this TARDIS team. I think they're really good in what little we see of them, and they have Daphne Ashbrook and I've forgotten his name, the guy who plays Chang Li. They have done Big Finish. Yi Ji So, that's it. They have done Big Finish, just in different as different characters.
Yeah.
So why does the Doctor have such bad vision?
I mean, the whole... yeah, the whole hospital thing, it does remind me a bit of Spearhead from Space. You know, you've got a mysterious man who passes out in hospital, yeah. Coincidentally, yeah.
Except instead of Spearhead's sort of very light, very fun handling of it, this is a full-on R-rated medical drama, and it shows the Doctor being killed during surgery. Again, baffling.
Yeah. Yeah, it just doesn't feel like Doctor Who. I mean,
It's really
how many
weird.
parents were probably saying to their kids, "Oh yes, I remember Doctor Who. I remember those days where the Doctor would go into surgery and horrifically die and scream as if he's having an epileptic fit."
Oh god, it's really horrific to
Is that
watch.
what sent them scurrying behind the sofa? Yeah, it
It's
is.
really horrific to watch. It's like, oh, Doctor Who, the quirky show with a funny old time traveller in a magic box going around and sorting problems and fighting aliens. Oh look, here's him dying on a medical table, screaming in agony.
Yeah, this might be up there with the hand crushing scene in Attack of the Cybermen as one of the most disturbing scenes in the show's history.
Yeah, it's really. I'm surprised they've gotten away with this. Actually, it's weird.
Yeah. There were so many actors considered for the Eighth Doctor. We'd be here all day.
Oh yeah, that would.
Heck,
It's kind of
Timothy
ridiculous.
Dalton was considered.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have been interesting. Uh, you were.
Well, I do know that Paul McGann was the second choice for Bond when they were coming to do GoldenEye. Had
Yeah,
Brosnan been busy or eventually turned it down, they would have gone to Paul
it would
McGann.
have been Paul McGann, which I don't know would have been cool. It would have been interesting.
And don't I don't know how much this is true, but apparently Pierce Brosnan was considered for Commander Maxwell in Arc of Infinity.
Yeah, I've heard that story before, and I've never been able to find any like concrete information on whether or not it's actually true. I'd like to think so. That would have been cool, but yeah.
Yeah, we could have got. Just imagine Pierce Brosnan in that brightly coloured outfit
Mm.
as the Sixth Doctor. I don't know why Chang Li bothers to stick around.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not like he's family or anything.
no, I think a lot of it is sort of uh, keeping his head down and keeping a low profile after just being in the gang war and stuff. I think a lot of it is just sort of taking shelter
Yeah,
and instead of going back to the streets, kind of. But maybe it's just his kind of selfish nature. He wants to see if he can get a bit of extra cash from the Doctor's belongings.
yeah, because it obviously takes his things here. Yeah,
Mm. I will say actually, I really like Grace as a character, and I think this is such a coming from the classic series, which is often sort of, for better or worse, there is a stereotype companion there. Having this in the mid-90s with our introduction to the companion being her running down the ER in a big blue dress like something out of a Disney film, and she's able to hold her own here, and she's very much sort of take no shit. It's sort of like, it's a bold statement. Um, it is a really bold statement on
yeah,
how
because
things have changed, kind of.
and she's a bit similar to Donna Noble at the end because both characters, when they first meet the Doctor, they lose their boyfriend, their job,
Mm,
and they still turn the Doctor down.
yeah, true. And that's what I mean. It's such a shame that the Big Finish don't have the rights to
Also,
her character. It's such a damn shame because I really want to see more of her or hear more of
yeah.
her.
Fun fact here: the woman playing Bruce's wife is Eric Roberts' real wife.
It is, yeah, and that's a really nice little detail. Yeah, Eric Roberts is such a character in real life. I can never quite figure him out. I don't know really what's his game. I, He never seems to give a shit in anything he's in.
Yeah, because do you remember? Do you remember WarpCon in 2018 when we went to the Paul McGann? No, I think Paul was telling a few stories about because Paul wore a wig when he played the Doctor, and apparently when he took it off, Eric recognised him.
What? Oh my god! This is the thing. You hear stories about Eric Roberts, and it's like I don't. He sounds like he's one of those people that is absolutely insane in real life, like just one of those characters that you couldn't make up. It's so odd. Like I don't know if you know that TV show the Island with Bear Grylls, that's sometimes on over here.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, Eric Roberts did that.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Roberts was a contestant on that on one series, and I watched it, and it's like this doddery old man. It's weird. Like he just doesn't. It's so odd.
Has he done Big Finish as the man?
Yes, he has. Yeah. Or I don't know if he has done any yet. He is doing some.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, because usually for Big Finish they just use Jeffrey Beavers, which I can see why.
Yeah, it's their go-to, isn't it? But yeah, no, like Eric Roberts is he put out a little teaser video a few weeks ago of him like in character going. I don't even know what he was doing, but it looked like Eric Roberts had just picked up his phone and recorded it in his bedroom or something. You could tell that he didn't really give a shit, because I think you can kind of see him turning the pages of the script and like just reading it. But it's kind of cool that they've managed to get him to do it.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Forgot. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Do you remember at the end of Time of the Doctor? Amelia, the first face this face saw. I bet at the end of Night of the Doctor, they shot a scene of the Eighth Doctor saying, "Pete, the first face this face saw."
Pete.
God, no! Good night. The first face this face saw.
Party on!
Oh, Pete should have got name dropped when he's about to take the Pete should have got name dropped when he's about to take the elixir, because he name drops all his Big Finish companions.
Oh, wow. Wow. That would have been terrific. And it, like, Will...
Oh, yeah, I just realised he doesn't in... Yeah, Will Sasso.
Will Sasso, yeah. And he's fairly big actor. I mean, I've seen him in a lot of, like, US sitcoms and things like that.
Yeah. I just realised though, in Night of the Doctor, when it could be obviously due to the rights issue, but when the Eighth Doctor lists off his Big Finish companions, there is no mention of Grace or Chang-Li.
Yeah, such a shame as well. It just I don't. Yeah. So I don't. When I think of the Eighth Doctor, I don't think of the Night of the Doctor. I think of this. I think this is the Eighth Doctor to me, and the Night of the Doctor is cool as like an epilogue and an end to his story. But to me, this is the Eighth Doctor. I don't think of Night of the Doctor so much.
Yeah, I think so too. My God, he's turned into Jesus.
Also, he seems to have super strength to be able to punch through a big metal door like that.
Well, in Christmas Invasion, he's able to grow back hands, so I suppose anything's possible.
True, yeah. And also, we kind of talked over it, but I think it's so cool to have it, like, to have his birth, if you will, juxtaposed against Frankenstein, and Frankenstein the film and stuff, and some of these shots are so cool. Like this shot where he's walking down the corridor and stuff. It's brilliant. It's so well directed, and it's something you would have seen in Doctor Who before. It's so American, it's so lavish and so high budget for the show at the time. Though it does a nitpick of that Frankenstein thing is the fact that the movie seems to jump about an hour, because they have the whole "it's alive" thing, and then in the space of 2 minutes, he's watching a scene from like towards the end of the film. So I don't know what's happening there, but oh well, it's dramatic. It's worth it for the scene.
Now, it's the Eighth Doctor. My theory is this about the Eighth Doctor, because here he loses his memory. I said this theory back in March when Series 12 aired, but in Remembrance of the Daleks, in a deleted scene, the Seventh Doctor says, "I am far more than just another Time Lord." My theory is he knew about the Timeless Children, but when the Eighth Doctor forgot his memory, and then obviously got it back again, he forgot everything about the Timeless Children.
Oh yeah, that's very true. That's a good theory, actually. Because this memory loss for him is a little bit more sort of extreme than usual. Like, he's not hysterical like the Sixth Doctor was, but he's definitely forgotten a lot more than he usually does. So I think that tracks, actually. That would make sense, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't strangle Grace and say, "We know the fate of alien spies."
We know the fate of alien surgeons.
You don't even know what a Grace is, do you, Grace? Oh, scarf reference here.
Yep, the obligatory Tom Baker scarf reference.
Now, I really do like his costume in this. It's great, and if you look at the Jackson Lake Doctor in the next Doctor, he's kind of wearing a lighter version of the Eighth Doctor's costume.
He is, yeah. It's really cool. And I kind of like that. Yeah, I kind of like this whole scene, actually. Kind of montage, like the morning after, the night before kind of thing, like checking in on our main players and where they are and what they're up to after the night before, the events of the night before. It's kind of cool, and like intercutting between them and stuff.
Also, this is the first appearance of the sonic screwdriver since the Visitation. I just realised.
It is, yeah. I never really thought about that, actually. That's kind of cool. And I really like the design of it here. I know it's basically just the Fifth Doctor's one again, but it's a really good, I like the kind of slight updates it's made to it. And this is probably my favourite TARDIS key. I love this TARDIS key. I think it's so cool.
Yeah. I also love the TARDIS interior, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
Oh,
It's my favourite one.
Oh, it's stunning. I love the exterior as well. I think everything about the TARDIS in this is just fantastic. Yeah, God, it's just brilliant.
I remember when I met Paul McGann, he said, I said, "Your TARDIS is my favourite," and he said, "That's because it was all real, no CGI."
Yeah. So interesting, we got a little...
I know Will...
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Will Sasso did some voice work for Family Guy. I think he did Randy Newman.
Randy Newman!
It's a story about... It's a story about friendship, a music by me, but a beer and his friend and music by me.
But yeah, so we got a little bit of adult stuff there, a little bit of sort of kinky sex games that were implied then between Bruce and his wife then.
Oh God.
Call me master. Which is kind of
50 Shades of
careful
Master.
Careful now. It's a little bit too blue.
Well, I mean, have you seen 13 and the Sasha Dowan Master recently? I mean,
Mm.
the sexual tension between those two is off the charts.
Yeah.
I half expect Sasha's Master to say, "I hate you, but I also love you." Oh God.
We also just missed one of my favourite line readings from this as well. Well, you think he's gonna go to a better hospital? weird bit of overacting from Will Sasso.
I know, yeah.
It's so weird. Seriously, why is the Doctor's vision so weird? Why is it all like zoomed in and like fisheye lensed and like
Yeah.
and like overexposed? And it'd be one thing if this was only after his regeneration, but this is how he saw before as well. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, the Master has those weird green eyes that look like cat eyes, so
Yeah.
maybe it's a Time Lord thing.
Yeah, it's a Time
Oh,
Lord
in a
thing.
sec, the Master's gonna become. The Master becomes the Terminator.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised it doesn't say, "I'll be back." That is the Asian child.
The Asian child? Bruce, you're terrible.
I've had a makeover. Oh God. I mean, yeah, Eric Roberts is probably my least favorite Master, but oh God, he just completely goes for it.
Oh, he's so fun to watch. His performance fluctuates from being serious to camp as Christmas, but he is so much fun to watch. Can't take that away from him.
Yeah.
So, he kissed as good as me, as well as you.
We know they were up to stuff in the past. I mean, the Master in the Timeless Children says, this is where we would skip Barusa's classes. You can tell they did other stuff.
Yeah. But Jeannie, we've met before. These shoes, they fit perfectly.
You know me. God, it's like that scene on The Simpsons where James Woods is at the Quickie Mart. Okay, that. We'll try this again. I'm you, you're B. I'm me? Hey, don't jerk me around, fella. And this is also quite disturbing. He pulls the wiring out of his stomach.
I know, it's so weird.
In his chest.
It's so weird.
Ah! God. Oh, I can't look at that.
It's so odd. Like you watch, sometimes you watch this and you sort of think, this isn't Doctor Who? This is some weird hospital drama.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, as I said earlier, Nick Briggs says in the commentary, if you didn't know it was Doctor Who, you'd think it was about a surgeon, Grace, who meets weird patients every week.
Absolutely.
Oh God, he's now the Terminator. Now, originally, he was supposed to, his face and skin was supposed to decay throughout the film to represent why he needed the Doctor's body and couldn't stay in Bruce's body. And they tried makeup tests, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
That's why he peels off his there. It's a sign he's decaying.
And to be fair, the peeling off of the nail is a really grim effect. It looks really cool. It's so gnarly. It would have been a cool idea, but I feel like it would have been a lot of work. And isn't the reason that Eric Roberts spends a lot of the time in this in sunglasses is because he either didn't like or was allergic to the contact lenses, right?
Yeah, I don't think he liked the contact lenses,
Yeah.
hence why he's wearing them.
It's like the Jim Carrey Grinch film. Like, he had a really bad reaction to the contact lenses, so half of that film is contact lenses,
Oh.
and half of that film is like digitally coloured in Grinch eyes.
Now the TV movie it had different reactions on both sides of the Atlantic. In America, it didn't have the strongest ratings because it was put up against a popular soap opera in which one of the main characters has a heart attack. And but in the UK, it was a different story. They had like a front cover on the Radio Times.
Mm.
It got 9 million viewers, which is really good. Yeah,
The runaway success in the
I think
UK. Yeah.
yeah, I think John Nathan Turner also really liked it as well. They was probably jealous at all the budget they had.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like it really is kind of in the UK. This was such a big deal because it was shedding the image that Doctor Who had of being cheap as chips and just a load of arse. Really, it was shedding that cheap image and it's something completely different and something really up to date. But of course, in America, this would have just been seen as another sort of run of the mill, average TV movie that gets pumped out over there like every week.
That's true, yeah. Um, I know there were quite a few actors considered for the Master. Like, I think it was Universal that actually insisted that the Master be played by an American rather than be British.
Yeah, and to be fair, like considering what Eric Roberts has gone on to do and had done before this, it's a decent get, like in terms of like fame level. It still kind of baffles me that,
Yeah,
that he's
because on
involved in this.
yeah, 'cause on I'm sure it's on The Sound of Drums Confidential. He actually appears in an interview
Yeah,
talking
he
about the
does.
Master.
Yeah, and then that
So yeah, he's clearly not disowned the role or anything.
and that Sound of Drums thing, that would have been around the time he was like filming The Dark Knight, right? 2007. So that's kind of interesting that he did that.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah. And I can never watch The Dark Knight the same way now, because every time he turns up, I just think of this.
It makes me laugh when that girl he's with says, "Can't we go someplace quieter? We can't hear each other." What makes you think I want to hear you talk?
Yeah. Oh god, that TARDIS looks it's so good. That exterior is just fantastic. I love it.
Yeah. Now, originally he wasn't going to use a key. He was going to use magic gloves
Magic
to
gloves.
get inside the TARDIS.
Hey.
Yeah. Right. He goes in. How does the Master get inside? I think there was a scene written that explained this, but it got cut.
Was it ever filmed, or did they cut it before they got to shooting?
I can't remember from the top of my head, but I think maybe they couldn't film a lot of scenes that explain things because they were overrunning, or the script
Yeah.
was getting too expensive, something like that.
It's interesting that Chang Li refers to him as like a friend here. Like, it's like surely they've only met that once, right, in the ambulance. But he's like, "Oh, hey, Bruce," and stuff. Like, fair enough if you remember his name, but it's
Oh, hey, Bruce.
hey, Bruce. It's weird.
Maybe they'll go down the pub together.
Yeah. I think you can tell in these scenes that his eyes are like digitally coloured in, because I don't know, like that close up just then, it looked kind of
A little
flickery.
bit, yeah.
It looked kind of flickery.
I mean, at least they remember that the Master can hypnotise people.
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah, and I remember. Oh yeah, there's a scene coming up saying Genghis Khan. That was him. Like, what?
No way. Yes way.
Yes, way.
The master says yes way.
Now the Master does have. The Master has had quite a few companions in the past, to be honest. I mean, the Delgado Master, he had Mela in The Mind of Evil and
Yeah.
Crassus in The Time Monster. Can't recall. Anthony Ainley actually had Sabalom Glitz, didn't he?
Yeah, he gets
In The
Glitz
Ultimate
to do
Foe.
his kind of dirty work, yeah.
And you could argue the Decayed Master had Chancellor Goff in The Deadly Assassin and then Cassia in The Keeper of Traken.
Yeah, yeah.
Here, the Master's got Chang Li. The John Sim Master had Lucy Saxon. Yeah.
Yeah, true, yeah. That's
I
true.
can't recall. I can't recall Missy having any companions, or I don't think the Sasha Dowan Master has had one yet.
Well, no, yeah. No, there was one for Missy, wasn't there? No. I can't think of any. I mean, oh, she
Dr.
had.
Chang
No, she
or
had.
Seb?
Yeah, Chris Addison's character from Dark Water, Seb. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of as close as you can
Permission
get.
to squeeze.
Oh God.
I love Seb.
Yeah.
He needs his own spin-off.
Oh, Big Finish will probably get on it.
Yeah, I love that moment of him remembering his father. I mean, that does open a whole Pandora's box of questions, but the whole reference to father thing was probably a reference to the original John Leakley Bible that was made.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Leakley
The Doctor
Bible.
was yeah, the Doctor would have run away from Gallifrey with the spirit of his grandfather Barusa inhabiting the TARDIS.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole protagonist having daddy issues, that was really big in the mid-90s. Heck, I mean, look at the highest grossing film at the time in 1994 when it was written was The Lion King, which is about
True.
a lion with daddy issues.
Yeah. And of course, in the Leakley Bible, we would have got stuff like the Sibes,
Yeah.
and
Dalek spiders.
Dalek spiders, and and weren't they going to remake like a few old classic stories and stuff? Oh, it's just that's so the Leakley Bible is mental.
Yeah, they were. They were gonna. It is, yeah. They were gonna remake stories like the Smugglers, the Gunfighters, the Celestial Toymaker. Stories that are missing, basically.
Yeah.
Right, why is the Eye of Harmony in the TARDIS when in The Deadly Assassin it was established as being on Gallifrey?
There is an explanation for that in... I don't know if you've ever read the book The Eight Doctors.
No.
It was the first of the Eighth Doctor novels that they did. And basically, Terrance Dicks, who infamously wasn't a fan of this, Terrance Dicks didn't like it. So he wrote the Eight Doctors, and in the first chapter of that, he goes, "Of course, the Doctor knew that the Eye of Harmony that was in the TARDIS wasn't really the real Eye of Harmony. It was just a projection of the one that was on Gallifrey and stuff. So it's supposed to be just like a projection and a yeah, it's supposed to just kind of represent the one that's on Gallifrey."
Well, we did see that when the Master said, we've just missed it, the Master said, "Behold, the cloister room." You could get like a CGI version of the room, so I suppose you could argue that's the projection of it.
With bats in there and leaves in there. Bats?
Yeah.
Do these
but
bats
then again,
live in there?
This is later. But the whole Eye of Harmony thing is later contradicted in Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS when that's in there.
Yep. Welcome to Doctor Who.
Doesn't make sense.
Nothing about this show makes sense.
I mean, I saw a video recently that was defending The Last Jedi, which, and it basically got into the whole idea of canon, and it said canon is whatever the intellectual property decides it is.
Yes.
So whoever owns it, i.e. the BBC, or in Star Wars' case, Disney or George Lucas, they decide what it is. And yeah, I have to agree there.
Yeah.
I may not always like what they say, which is fine. You can dislike things, but you can't say they can't do that. They don't have the right.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
They do. It's their show.
They literally have the right.
They can do whatever they want with it.
Nothing is canon, and everything is canon.
Yep. Ah, yes, the Doctor's first on-screen kiss.
And it
It's
caused an outrage.
It's odd in Day of the Doctor, because... Oh, it did, yeah. And it's odd in Day of the Doctor, the War Doctor says, "Is there a lot of this in the future?" Oh, yes.
It does start to happen,
I mean,
yeah.
you should know. Originally, they were going to show past incarnations there, but I don't think they could get the rights to them.
Yeah, I mean, this weird sort of video game character selection screen thing is a little bit odd. Because it does choose your fighter.
Like Destiny of the Doctors.
Yeah, with the spinning thing and stuff. I've always loved that line as well, like from the Master. A new Doctor, he's so young. Fair enough.
I mean, just going back to the idea of canon, it baffles me that for years fans were unsure whether or not to count this as canon. Because
yeah.
I don't think it was until Human Nature where the Doctor has his journal of impossible things, and there's a very clear drawing of the Eighth Doctor which more or less says, yes, this did happen.
Yeah.
He is the Eighth Doctor.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid, like on the website, the old website and stuff, the Eighth Doctor was there. He was, he was most definitely there with the others. But like you say, for a while, it was just sort of like, well, is it though? Because it contradicts a lot of things, and also the Revive series never makes a reference to it before series 3. So it's there for a while. Yeah, like you say, it was sort of up for debate. And of course, probably the most notorious thing that's come from this is the whole the Doctor is half human, which has caused many debates.
Yeah, that was in the whole human on his mother's side, that came from, I think, John Leakley's original script, which was about the Doctor's father, Ulysses, falling in love with a human from Earth. I am not making this up.
Yep.
He falls in love with a human from Earth, and she gives birth to the Doctor.
Yeah.
That's why he's half human.
Which, to be honest, it's one of these things that is
it's notorious.
It's just one of these things that pops up.
It's notorious for introducing that, but also it's notorious for the fact that it's like, we don't talk about it. It's like saying Voldemort in the Harry Potter universe. Legit, it's just one of those things that people have just sort of buried. Nobody talks about it really. It's like it's and to be honest, you can get around it. You can definitely explain it however you want. There are batshit ways to get around it. And to be, the Revive show nearly did at once, didn't it? In Hellbent, they alluded to it. Oh yeah,
they did allude to it, which I'm not a fan of Hellbent, but I mean the balls on Stephen Moffat. I mean, fair enough for bringing that up. I mean, a lot of writers wouldn't have had the guts to bring that back up again.
Now, what the Doctor does here, I tried doing this on a shop window and I got thrown out. I tried putting my hand through, and then security came up and said, "What's your game?" And I was like, "Monopoly?" Yeah.
It's a cool effect though, and the way he steps through it and stuff. It's a really cool little thing, and the camera work is pushing in on McGann's face and stuff. This is a really cool scene.
Yeah, because he's only just discovered that he's the Doctor, but already McGann sells it with that whole "nothing will be left and this planet will be pulled inside out."
Oh, yeah. He's fantastic in this. bar none, I think he is absolutely brilliant in this. This is probably one of my favourite like first performances from a Doctor ever, because it's just there's no, it's just there's barely any shakiness to it. He's just instantly the Doctor. Really. Obviously, when you get past the amnesia thing, yeah, he's just brilliant in it. And this has the distinction of being the very first New Year's special.
It does, yeah. So move over. End of Time Part 2. Actually, no. The first New Year's special technically was the Daleks' Master Plan Episode 8, Volcano.
Yeah, they're true.
Where the Doctor lands in the middle of a cricket match.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That whole episode is actually 5 minutes of the commentators commentating over a cricket match. And, oh, the TARDIS is here. Oh, they've buggered off again. I guess that filled some time. Saved some budget.
It takes the Daleks... It takes the Daleks a whole episode to realise, shit, this terranium's fake. We need a time machine. Right, go order one. We're never using Amazon again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use Zoom. I'm gonna use Zoom next time.
Dalek's Master Plan's great, but there's about 4 or 5 episodes which could be removed entirely, and you wouldn't miss a thing. But it is great.
Yeah,
it is
I
great.
have to agree.
It is great. It's just
I'd love to see it animated.
Yeah, and me. But yeah, going back to the New Year's thing, we were actually going to record this for New Year. We were going to put it out as a New Year's special, but I got called into work unexpectedly, so it meant that we couldn't do it New Year's week. So here's your New Year's special. You're getting it late. Happy New Year.
Yep. Yeah, I just realised she has auburn hair and is a surgeon. Reminds me a bit of Liz Shaw from the Pertwee era a little. They both meet in a hospital.
True, yes. That is, again, that's another similarity to Spearhead.
Yeah, as you say, just looking at the Master's eyes, they do look as if they were digitally added.
Yeah, again, it would remind me of the Jim Carrey Grinch thing, where I imagine there was a chunk of shooting where they tried to do it and Eric Roberts just didn't like it.
You've got snot on here. Right, it's funny here because the Doctor attacked him with a fire extinguisher. Now, of course, I bet it's gonna hurt, but he says it burns. It burns. Fire extinguishers are cold. It's like pouring ice over somebody, and then you say, it's too hot."
Ice hot. Well, interestingly, I've got the subtitles on, and his dialogue there is, "I can't be injured." Which is like, what? I like that line as well. Wait, stop! He's British.
Now, originally, these chickens that you see all over the road here apparently was originally going to be a circus train that got derailed. That would have been insane.
Be like something out of a Roger Moore era James Bond film or something. So, of course, before we were recording this, me and you obviously discussed which version we'd be watching, and we both sort of agreed we'd watch the DVD because you don't have the Blu-ray, do you?
No, in fact, I think I saw your video on the Blu-ray,
Yeah.
and that convinced me not to buy it.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say you don't buy it because it's just not worth it.
I'll probably wait for if we get a collection of the Wilderness Years.
Yeah, I hope we do. I mean, I hope unless they bundle. Oh, we've already had season 26, haven't we? No, I hope we get a collection of the Wilderness Years. And if they
Yeah,
Yeah,
we could have this more than 30 years in the TARDIS, Curse of Fatal Death, maybe those webcasts they did, Real Time and Death Comes to Time.
yeah, yeah. That yes,
That
yeah.
thing.
That would have been cool.
I know Dimensions in Time is not a possibility, but just trying to think of what else we could have on.
Um, have you said Scream of the Shulker already?
Oh yeah, Scream
Scream
of
of
the
the Shulker
Shalka,
could
we
be
could
on there.
definitely have that.
Um,
Doctor Who Night.
Doctor Who Night, yeah, it'd be a great chance to get that released. And just do some new special features for it, really, like Behind the Sofa, the TV movie. That alone, because even
Or
if,
maybe the Myth Makers. Remember the Myth Makers interviews?
yeah, that would have been, yeah, that's cool. Because I mean, because I think the Blu-ray would have been worth it had they done some new special features for it. But as it is, it's literally just like buying a DVD but on a Blu-ray disc. Because it's all the same special features that got ported over
Yeah.
and everything, and it's just like, well, what's the point? They didn't even fix the speed issue, which is literally the one thing they could have done with that
Hmm.
Blu-ray release is finally fix the speed issue, because it's Blu-ray, but they didn't. It's just
Yeah.
baffling to me,
Hmm.
because it is jarring. You can hear the Paul McGann's voice sounds higher than usual in this film because it's just the way they've converted it. It's the old PAL speed up issue that affects US content in the UK. But
Ah, I see.
yeah, it's basically
Yeah.
because we use PAL and the US use NTSC to encode the video. So
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
so US TV shows when it gets put into standard definition, for like us, we get it 4% faster than it should be, which is why sometimes you'll see like a film playing.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's why you'll sometimes see like a film playing on TV and it'll sound sped up, and it's just because it is basically.
Right.
But like I said, they could have fixed that for the Blu-ray if nothing else, but they didn't.
Nope. I mean, yeah, for bonus features, you could have Paul McGann in conversation, maybe Philip Siegel in conversation.
Yeah, we could have a big documentary on what could have been if this had been picked up for series. Like a really like deep dive in like a what if universe where this actually got taken to a series.
That'd be a good idea, yeah.
Because I often wonder, because I would have liked to have seen it taken to series, but I just don't
Me too,
think
yeah.
I don't think it really would have. We wouldn't have got the Revive series for one, but yeah, I'd be interested to see what it would have gone like.
Yeah.
So we're about to see Gareth, played by I believe his name's Jeremy Raddick, who is a really nice guy. I don't know if you follow him on Twitter at all.
No, I don't think I do now. What else has he done?
He's not done a huge amount. Basically, in fact, his Twitter bio is hang on, I'll get it up. Yeah, his Twitter bio is formerly an actor, coasting on once being in Doctor Who. He's a massive Doctor Who fan, and when they did the tweet along of this during I think it was the first lockdown, he was just he was just thrilled about having been in Doctor Who, and he's a really nice guy. If you ever sort of interact with him, he's always up for a chat about about Doctor Who canon or anything. So yeah, it's cool that he's in this.
Ah, there it is. I'm half human. On my mother's
On my
side.
mother's side.
Mother's side. Well, I know Paul's brother Mark has played John Lennon in a TV movie before. And honestly, it's amazing how much he looked like John Lennon.
Oh yeah, in fact I was just watching clips from that yesterday. from I think
Yeah,
it's
because
John and Yoko, isn't
Peter
it?
Capaldi's in that as George Harrison.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was just watching clips from that the other day. Yeah, it's and the McGann brothers look so much alike. It is kind of it's kind of nuts.
They do, yeah.
Here he is Gareth.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like that. The Doctor from the future giving him advice that'll hopefully affect his life.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, jelly babies.
Lemon jelly babies are the best jelly babies. In fact, you know what? Screw it. Gareth needs to come back. put, put Gareth in Series
He should have been
13.
mentioned in. He should have been mentioned in Night of the Doctor. Gareth, Gareth, Grace, Changli, Molly, Chris, Charlie, friends, companions who I've saluted.
Oh dear, the Master seems to have
Why
got
did
a bit
they?
excited there.
Oh, he got a really bad cold.
Yeah.
Just why?
that is one
This
of the
doesn't make sense.
those poor actors as well.
Uh,
Imagine. Oh, I'm in Doctor Who. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing today then? Well, you're going to stand still for a bit, while we're going to cover you in thick, sticky liquid. Oh right.
mm,
It really is not like all of this just feels like an episode of a 90s US TV show. It really does. It is
yeah,
really
it
insane when
does.
you look at it. Actually, like and it is it's a product of its time, and it's a product of where it was made. And it is just this is truly Doctor Who if it were done in America.
It is, yeah.
Or Canada, because this is like Canadian American, isn't it? Because it was shot in Vancouver, I think. Was it shot in Vancouver? It was shot in Canada, I'm pretty sure.
It was, yeah.
Yeah,
Vancouver, yeah. But it's doubling for San Francisco.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised this whole thing never came back. Spare key in a cubby hole above the P.
Cubby hole above the P. It is really that I like that. It's a really quaint little detail. And I like this whole thing of the policeman going in and then
Oh, hell no, I'm out of here.
it is quite fun. It's just
But like, but when you actually go in, the console's right in front of him, so he would have crashed into
oh yeah,
that.
we should have just hear a massive crash.
Oh dear.
Because I don't quite know. Because
Get him off there, Grace.
because he screams as he leaves, doesn't he? You can hear him screaming as he leaves. So is it like the TARDIS just like threw him out? It's it's odd.
hmm
It's fun though.
Oh, we get into this whole temporal orbit BS that allows you to resurrect companions,
Yep.
and fans accuse Stephen Moffat for going for the cop-out happy ending solution.
Well, it's interesting because the little we
Then
get a bit like the glowing orange energy later on. Just it looks strikingly similar to the modern regeneration effect.
Bet Russell saw that and said, "Ah, yes, we can do that too."
We can do it. Hi, Philip. I love the movie. I just want to know if we can steal your ideas for it.
Hey, Russell, I invented cracks in time that make people forget things. For example, they forgot your ending to the next Doctor. Isn't that clever? You changed my ending? Oh no, it still happened. It just, people don't remember it. You bastard. I was gonna give David Tennant a good send-off, but by the time I'm done, everyone's gonna hate
Yeah.
Matt Smith and you, and it's just gonna be a 2-hour episode of saying how much me and David rock. Well, at least I have a career outside of Torchwood Miracle Day. What do you have? Oh, just wait. In 10 years' time, I'm gonna be popular again with years and years, and the only legacy you'll have is season 4 of Sherlock and Dracula.
Russell, I don't think that's really appropriate here. You see, Doctor Who is a show about a madman in a box, and you're being a fucking dickhead. I am Doctor Who. In fact, have you seen what Stephen Moffat said? It was either today or yesterday.
Doctor, I think you should have shown her what the neutron ram is, because I doubt she knows what it is.
Yeah, no. Have you seen what Stephen Moffat was saying today or yesterday about who he wants the new Doctor to be?
No.
He wants Jenna Coleman to be the Doctor.
Who?
He wants. He was like, oh yeah, Jenna could be a really good Doctor. And she's really popular at the moment, so I don't see why it couldn't happen. I think it's a real possibility or something. It's like, well, I
just realised, in this, I think there's something else that Russell may have taken, because we mentioned the golden regeneration energy, but we're about to see in a minute the Master sucks his essence out of Grace to make her eyes look human. And cut to the parting of the ways. How does the Ninth Doctor get the time vortex out of Rose?
Yeah. Well, it's very true. That is very true.
God.
Glad to see you appreciate the gravity of the situation. I mean, this set is fantastic though. Like, this is such a good set. Like, it's so huge.
Oh,
and
it's
stuff.
beautiful.
The production design of this,
you can see
cannot
the
fault it at all.
Oh look, the Master's clearly gay here.
Well, this is the thing. He's really camp all of a sudden, and he's not been like this through any of the movie.
I think it's because he's in that. I think it's because he's in that outfit. He's just like, oh, I need to act really camp.
Yeah.
Because when he was in the ambulance outfit, he was acting like the Terminator.
Oh God, we need more Jesus imagery. Apparently, in fact, that's another thing that Russell might have taken from this. The Jesus imagery from In Voyage of the Damned.
God.
This is directed really weirdly, this party scene. In fact, all of the party scenes are. They're directed really weirdly.
We're in 2021. What's a party?
That's another weird, quirky little character detail there. The scientist guy going It's Khalid, confirmed.
Oh.
Now
that. Oh God, it's Doctor Who doing a Clockwork Orange.
Yep.
Stop it! Stop it, please! I beg you! It's wrong! It's a sin! It's like against society! All I could see was my Devotchka Grace giving the old in out by the Master. Oh, yarbles.
The scientists are just like, oh, we don't fucking know.
coming up, the way he snaps his neck here, it doesn't really look like it. It looks like he just turned his head, and they just added a snap effect.
Well, that was another scene that was cut for the UK broadcast, wasn't it? And the UK VHS, because wasn't this a similar story to the Five Doctors, where the VHS went on sale a little bit before the broadcast?
It did, yeah, which really annoyed. It really annoyed the BBC.
Yeah. And didn't the original broadcast version of this have a dedication to John Pertwee as well? Because this wasn't.
It did, yeah.
It wasn't long after John Pertwee.
It was broadcast a week after he had passed away.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that makes sense.
In fact, the TV movie is 25 years old this year.
It is. Oh, it's so weird. That is really odd to think about. Yeah.
I was there for the 15th anniversary.
Yeah.
Because I got this in 2011.
Yeah.
Watch. The way his eyes went up, it's like, what the fuck? Sucking the life out of her. Yeah, these effects are pretty cool. They're so undeniably 90s, but yeah, the climax is pretty exciting. But
yeah, pretty cool. Yeah,
it is just stupid how it's resolved. What Grace puts a few wires together, and then that's it. Heck, in episode 90 or 87, Pyramids of Mars, the Doctor stated that the controls are isomorphic.
Yeah. Well, again, Doctor Who, nothing is canon, and everything is canon.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm taking your lives, Doctor, and all your stock footage.
I can feel your memories, but strangely only from the past couple of days for some reason, because we can't get the rights to actually use footage from the old series, but I'm taking your thoughts and your lives.
Mm-hmm. Now, that prop there was actually keeping McGann's eyes open, so that really must have been uncomfortable.
Yeah, this whole climax is a bit of fun nonsense. Is that if you look on if you go on Letterboxd, the top review for this film is Eric Roberts leaps into the air, his oversized costume barely staying together, and opens his mouth to release a stock lion sound effect. Instant 5 stars. And it just sums it up.
Oh,
it just sums it up.
Yeah, because his voice at the end becomes just... Why does it turn slow motion like... Oh,
well, like I said, it's stock sound effects of animals. And it's another minor similarity to the End of Time there, with the whole with the Master's face flipping really fast and stuff, back and forth, and kind of similar to the effect in the End of Time.
This Master is not jumping around like Zebedee. Dinner time.
Dinner time.
When I see all those people, when they revealed Missy, so many people were saying, "Oh, they've turned the Master into a jug." Have you seen the End of Time? him bouncing around like fucking Zebedee. I mean, that was the moment when I wanted to take all my Doctor Who DVDs and burn them in a Return of the Jedi style funeral.
I'm so
then I thought,
hungry.
Oh, it could be worse.
I'm so hungry.
I thought to myself, I was strong. I said to myself, it could be worse. He could be shooting lightning out of his hands like Darth Sidious. And then I thought, I hate my life.
Beef and chips and chicken and greasy food. Yum, yum. It's all so greasy.
Hot, fat food. It's mine to eat.
Always makes me...
Oh my god, it's so stupid.
I know, it's so dumb. It always makes me feel really hungry whenever I watch it, though.
It really makes me want to eat meat.
Yeah.
It really just makes me want to eat chicken.
Yeah.
Or burgers. I'm like, starving.
You got to love all this stock footage of various London landmarks being horizontally stretched, and like you got the Eiffel Tower in there, and
including
wonderfully 90s.
Yeah, now he goes
No.
George Lucas looked at that and thought, hey, I could do that. Right. She stood in front of him, and that broke the connection. Why didn't she just do that before?
I was going to say, just run it, yeah.
The Doctor could have literally said, Grace, stand in front of me. I'll ruin his whole plan.
Would that have killed Grace as well? Because at best, it looks like she would have just broken her arm or something. Like, it doesn't look... Brilliant. It doesn't look amazingly high, because he just throws off the balcony, and fair enough, she hits the corner of the thing, but like I said, at best, it looked like she just sort of broken a few bones, not death.
Yeah. You want my life? Imagine him saying all that hungry stuff. I am so hungry. Hot, fat, blood food.
Life is wasted on the living.
Hey, there's a guy on the phone called Douglas Adams. He wants his line back. That line is apparently from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah. Life
is wasted on the living.
Yep.
Wait, he can fly
Yep,
now?
there's the lion sound effect. You can just hear a roar like... The master can roar like a lion. It is interesting.
Never.
It is interesting that they didn't choose the Daleks to be the main villain for this. It is very interesting.
Well, maybe they couldn't get the rights.
Oh, so they could only have like the weird high-pitched ones at the start.
Could have been a rights issues with. It could have been a rights issue with the Terry Nation estate, maybe, because even in the new series, they did struggle to get them.
Because I think I've heard things before. People have pointed out this is very, very kind of... Obviously, it's mental and insane and hilarious, but in a way, it is kind of very down to earth. Like, you don't see aliens really, apart from at the start. It's literally just the Master. It's set on Earth. It's a very humanoid story, very earthbound. You don't see any aliens and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah, seeing Daleks in it might have been a bit... It feels like they were trying to pitch this to an audience who wanted to see down-to-earth stories.
That's true, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole temporal orbit thing does not make sense.
No, it doesn't.
What's a temporal orbit? Why does it mean that people can come back from the dead, even if before they were killed, when they enter the temporal orbit?
I guess the TARDIS really likes you.
Yeah, because I wonder, was Moffat parodying this in The Curse of Fatal Death?
Well,
because
yeah.
when the Doctor keeps coming back to life, I think his companion says, not even the universe can bear to live without the Doctor. Fun fact, the companion in that, I can't remember the character's name, but it's the same actress who voiced Ginger in Chicken Run.
It's Julia Sawalha, yeah.
That's her name, yeah. I can remember listening to the Inferno commentary with Barry Letts, Terrence Dix, and Nicholas Courtney, and he said, "Yes, you see," Barry said, "I was interested in the idea of time travel, but I didn't want it to be like that stupid American TV thing where they did the whole going back in time to prevent everything. It was just so stupid."
Seeing these three huddle around the TARDIS and everything, with him in control and everything, this would have been brilliant as a TARDIS team.
Yeah.
This would have been really good. And in the long run, I am glad we didn't get the series, because it meant that we wouldn't have got the new series and stuff.
Yeah.
But I really would have liked to have seen these three again. And I really hope one day they figure out the rights issues surrounding this.
I mean, also, Doctor, if you drop them off on December 29th, run the risk of them running into their earlier selves, so best
They'd
not.
have to do a Back to the Future Part 2 thing of, like, not bumping into... Well, yeah, because, hang on, drop them off December the 29th. They couldn't go home, because it means that they would have run into their past selves.
Yeah, exactly.
They couldn't go to work for the same reason. They would have had to, like, hide in an alley somewhere and hope that that no one sees them.
Seven, 6, 2, 1.
Again. Massive overacting from so
So
many people.
insane.
And then the security guard.
I love how that doesn't react. He's just like,
Yeah.
it's not going to be the same old shit.
Can you believe it? 2,000. This is a really cool location. I can see why.
I mean, if they had the rights, I'm willing to bet that Chang Li and Grace might have got mentioned. Think about
Yeah.
it. Chang Li, he was an orphan boy on the streets of San Francisco. He runs an orphanage now there. He's done so much for homeless children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It would have been great.
And-
Yeah.
And Grace, she invented the COVID-19 vaccine. She saved so many lives.
Oh my god, yes, please. And actually, it's like I was saying earlier about...
Yeah, because he walks off with £1 million
Yeah.
here, so he's got enough to set up his own business and start
Yeah,
again.
yeah. But it's interesting, like I was saying earlier, about putting the companion front and centre and making her have her own agenda. Like, she turns the Doctor down here, and like this whole thing of you come with me come with you, like all that and stuff. Like, it's really kind of bold for the filmmakers to go, yeah, we're going to take the sort of standard Doctor Who companion and actually have her put front and centre, have her own agenda and her own view, and have her have the strength at the end to go, no, I'm happy to just have had this and that's fine, you know. It's really quite forward thinking, actually, and it definitely is a precursor to what we saw in the Revive series. It's really cool. And as much as I want to see her again, part of me does like the fact that she is just this one-time thing and they had this adventure and that's enough. But, yeah.
Yeah.
And Daphne Ashbrook's great. I don't know. She's always up for like appearing on like fan podcasts and things, and I've never met her, but I really want to because she seems really cool.
Same here, yeah.
But is it true they would have got her back for the if this went to series? Wasn't it true they would have like come up with a way for her to come back.
Possibly, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Because it does seem... Because if this was a pilot for a TV series, it would seem weird for a pilot to introduce characters and then get rid of them before episode 2. It would seem really odd. But I do like this, because this now you can lead into the Big Finish audios and stuff. I just like that this is the Doctor now and everything, and I do like the ending. It is good.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that and that's the movie, and I like it. It's hilarious, and it is really cheesy, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's completely off the rails, but it's fun.
It's a complete it's a window into an alternate universe, and I appreciate that we've got this this. For anyone who ever wondered, what would it be like if Doctor Who was American? Well, here you go. Here's your answer. Because it's just this window into what could have been, and it's one of the weirdest sort of little artifacts of Doctor Who, really. It's just, it is odd, but I'm glad it's got a new audience, because it used to be despised, and a lot of people do like it now. So
true, yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to go with it. But yeah, so that is the end of the commentary. I hope you all enjoyed it. What will we be doing next time?
Next time we will be doing Bad Wolf and the Parting of the Ways. Bring tissues, because this is gonna hurt.
I was gonna say, yeah. So yeah, jumping into the new series next time with the Ninth Doctor story, and yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy that one. So that's all from me. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks again, Isaac, for doing this. And yeah,
we'll see you later.
We'll see you soon. Bye
bye.